Welcome. My name is Barry Martin, and our work is called Birthing the Luminous Self. And you can reach us at luminousself.com. Today, we're going to talk about one of the most important and central issues or subjects in the journey of awakening, and that is the God center in us. Each of us has a place within us where there's a focus of God, one, the source of all that is. We are each really a drop in the ocean of God. And we are also the totality of the ocean of God in the drop of our being. There is a place within us where that essence of God, one, all that is, focalizes itself. And it's so critical to know and understand this because this is truly the altar of our being. This is where everything that we're looking for resides. This place is someplace we're all familiar with. When we put our hands together to pray, we are putting our hands right before the altar of our being. This place has also been called the soul lotus in other traditions because it is like a flower. And as it opens, as we awaken, and that really is the journey of awakening, it is the opening of this soul lotus deep within our being. And as it opens, a holographic essence of God, one, all that is, begins to shine forth and radiate from our being. This is not the heart chakra, nor is it the spiritual heart center, or the heart soul center, or cave of the heart has been called. It's even deeper and more profound than that. Now, why is knowing about this so important? Well, the goal of the human experience is to awaken to and discover what we really are. And it doesn't matter what path you look at or consider, all paths lead to the same place. Aldous Huxley wrote about this many years ago when he studied all the paths and realized that there was a perennial philosophy which he felt was expressed most succinctly in the Sanskrit formula Tat Tvamasi, or I am that. In the West, it was expressed by God when Moses asked the burning bush to identify itself. And what did God say? I am that I am. I am that. I am that I am. And what this really means is that the Atman, or the true eternal self, is one with God, Brahman, or the absolute principle of all existence. And the last and every end of human experience is to discover that fact, to find out that we are that. And Jesus said it well, I and the Father are one. And he also pointed to the end of the journey for each of us when he said, in that day, you will know that I am in my Father, you and me, and I and you. That is where this whole journey is going for each of us. When we realize that our true self and God are one, that we are a drop in the ocean of God, and the ocean of God in a drop. Again, no matter what path you are on, the first and primary goal of the journey is to have a conscious communion with the presence of God within us as our true nature. All the practices we do, all the processes, the mantras, the breathing techniques, the sacred texts, everything is always the finger pointing at the moon. And that moon is that living, radiant presence of God in us. The direct, conscious experience of this is life-changing, beyond life-changing. It sets us firmly on the final and full path of realizing our true nature. Because once we have communion with this divine presence, we are in touch with the very source and essence of our being that is everything that we seek. All seeking, really, is for this. All the false substitute seeking we do in the world for money, relationships, love, peace, creativity, all those things that we seek, we already are and have within us. And that's only an idea. It's only a concept until we actually have the direct experience of the living divinity, this radiant, luminous being that is in the core of our being. The reality, the truth, that God exists in us, as us, is clear and certain. And we no longer need paths or practices because we are in touch with our goal. And that holographic fractal essence of God, one all that is within us, is omnipresent, omniscient, omnipotent, all wise, all loving, all powerful. It is everything that God is, waiting for us to discover it and merge with it. And that is the journey. Once we have had conscious communion, it is progressively merging our human ego-personality consciousness more deeply and deeply into it until that soul lotus completely opens and suffuses our entire auric field with its living, luminous presence. And everything in these subtle bodies and chakras becomes imbued with, encoded, and a manifestation of God, one all that is. We become self-realized, God-realized, illumined. All the great ones that have realized these things have all ultimately done it in the same way. They found the God in them, and they completely died to all their separate self sense, their human personality sense, this outer acting physical self that we're falsely identified with. All that was left was conscious union and oneness in and as the living presence of God. This is the path of mastery and realization. This inner guru, the ultimate guru, once we are in touch with it, will guide us step by step to complete absorption, complete realization and actualization of our God nature. We need nothing else really at that point. Even though we may be guided to other things, everything comes from here. And as this soul lotus unfolds, all the divine qualities, characteristics, and capacities of God One, all that is, start to become manifest. The essential peace that we are is simply present as our being. The love, the joy, the will, the power, the intelligence, the wisdom, they're just there. They're not something that we develop or seek. They unfold. They unpack and flower from our God Center. So whatever your path is, realize that the ultimate goal is conscious communion with the living presence of God, self, all that is, right here, the core of our being, just a little bit above your heart in the center of your chest, is the place where it resides and where it radiates to infinity as omnipresence. I invite you to turn within with the all-important goal and objective to make contact and communion with who and what you truly are. Thank you, and blessings on your journey to do so.